Unseen. Wow, this was impressive. I really enjoyed this piece. And it didn't even seem like 8 minutes. It just, I don't even know if it seemed like a certain time. I was just enjoying it so much. And I just really felt like this performer was amazing. She had really great emotions going on in her movements and her anguish within her struggle. To me, she was either an agoraphobic or going through some kind of depression or grief. Very agonizing to see her struggle, being drawn to the door, the music, the sounds, the people. Not the music, sorry, the people and the sounds in the hallway, and how she was drawn to the door, but she couldn't make herself go out. And then the window as well, opening the window. I really love the sounds in this, as far as like the stirring of the coffee and the spoon hitting the coffee mug and the chair being dragged across the floor. And the birds and the water dripping. And I love the stained glass windows too. The colors in the opening shot were so pretty. And her moving to all of these sounds, just her movements were so cool. Very well done with the choreography in the performance here. The music all the way around was so cool. I really particularly liked the flute when she was crawling across the floor. Just really liked that. I felt like she was so well done. I just felt like she was expressing what she was feeling with every sound she heard, and like all the outside sounds and her expression of those through movement and what she was feeling about those sounds and about being in this room and about why she couldn't leave. Just, it was saying so much in such a wonderful way. I just was so impressed by this performance, by everybody involved with this, as far as the choreography, the directing, the costumes, the location, the set design, camera work was flawless. Just nothing took me out of this. I was in it the whole way. I was just trying to experience this with her and her frustration, and I really wanted to push her out that door to get help and join society and be seen. So great job.
This film is called Unseen. This is a mesmerizing dance short from India. A lone and lonely dancer is isolated in an apartment, but soon finds a need to move. Beautiful choreography in this one. I love the expressive hands and fingers of the dancer. Lots of light coming from the window, and the sound effects of nails on the mesh window screen and the voices in the hall both add to the theme of being trapped and isolated. I love the sound of the clocks, the percussion, and the lyrical flute. The flute seems to call the dancer towards pleasure and freedom and perhaps openness to reach out. Great job. Unseen.
Unseen. I thought this was beautiful and kind of heartbreaking, and I thought they did such a good job with kind of portraying emotions throughout this. And she was so articulated, like, through her very fingertips, and so expressive, and so like she used her body so well in conveying all of these emotions, which I thought was really fantastic. Like I said, I thought this was beautiful. I thought it was a little bit heartbreaking, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching it. I really loved that they used the kind of background noises of everyday life that you don't necessarily think you hear until they're not there anymore. Like traffic and bird singing and, you know, wind and, you know, all of these other little things that you don't necessarily think about on a day-to-day basis. And they really incorporated that with the dancing and with the music. They really used that to kind of, I think, help set the emotional tone. I thought it worked really well.
I really like the message Unseen was trying to get across. It definitely felt like it was a piece that tackles the topics of anxiety. And I like how they incorporated dance into that narrative, where a lot of the environment was used, specifically the door itself, which I thought to be... which I thought was a very interesting concept, where she's kind of drawn to the door, but she's scared of the door, so she's attracted to it, but also being repelled by it at the same time. I definitely liked that, like back and forth, and that contrast towards it. I also found the audio to be very interesting. How the diegetic sound uh, was incorporated into the piece, especially like the click, the ticking of the clock. All in all, I definitely enjoyed this one. I found it very interesting.
Unseen. This is a simple but really stunning piece that takes us on this woman's emotional journey. I was in awe at how expressive she was and the intentional way that she moved and used her body to tell us a story, and share with us her emotional disposition and where she was at in that moment. The music was also a really strong carrier of that story, and I especially like the start of the film where there was this collaboration between her and the music through the stirring of the tea and her kind of keeping and almost dictating the beat of the music with her spoon. I could quite genuinely watch this woman dance for hours. She was transfixing, and I really, really, really loved this. Visually, but also story wise. Great job.
I really liked Unseen. I really like the editing specifically. I think the editing did a lot as far as the rhythm, because Walter Murch always says you cut for emotion and then you cut for rhythm, and I think that was on display here. Um, as far as like the timing and like the matching with like the beats or not matching with the beats, depending. And then like also the dancer carried it. She, for her to be the only one, she brought the house. So she did great. Um, but yeah, I want to shout out the sound design, the editing, and the dancer. They were all stellar. So good job.